This may be the most obvious thing I'll ever say, but if you're committed to a life of ministry, if you want to be a tool in God's hands in the life of somebody else, well, this is the obvious thing. That requires love. You could not get a more essential ingredient to ministry than love. Now, that's sort of the good news. Here's the bad news. Fasten your seatbelts. Love just isn't natural for us. I wish I could say that it is. It's natural for me to want to be right. It's natural for me to want to have control. It's natural for me to want to be the center of attention. It's natural for me to want to have my story be the best story of the evening. It's natural for me to want to be surrounded by people who like me and always agree with me. But love isn't natural for us. True love is just not natural. I think one of the passages that captures this is 2 Corinthians 5:15. It says this. These are stunning words. That Jesus came so that those who live would no longer live for themselves. See, that's what sin does to me. Sin causes me to put myself in the center of my world. Sin causes me to make it all about me. Sin causes me to shrink the field of my concern down to the claustrophobic confines of my wants, my needs, my feelings. Paul is arguing something here that I think is so important to understand. He's arguing that the DNA of sin is selfishness. That's why often communities that talk about grace actually have a lot of ungrace going on. That's why you can sing a hymn about God's love and scream at your children on the way home from church. Because love isn't natural for us. You see, what this means is if you're going to be a tool of God's grace in the life of others, you need to be rescued by that very same grace. By powerful grace, here is God's plan. God makes his invisible love visible by sending people of love to give love to people who need love. And so he works to change our hearts. He works to soften us. He works to change our desires and our thoughts. He works to humble us so that we would be ready to be instruments of his love. You see, if I'm going to be involved with ministry, it's not just that God needs to change others through me. He needs to change me so that he can use me. Would you humbly confess that today? Would you humbly confess that if the video of your life was captured in that video would be unloving moments? And would you not take for granted the depth to which you need grace in order to be that instrument of love? Now, we've just said that God gives us everything we need for ministry. And if you pray for his love, that's a prayer he is glad to answer. What does that love look like? Well, I want to take you to 1 Corinthians 13. There's a way in which not only is this passage a description of love, this passage is a list of character qualities for any effective ministry, no matter where. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things. Love endures all things. Ministry to others requires patience. Ministry to others requires kindness. Ministry to others requires humility. Ministry to others is harmed by rudeness or demandingness or irritability or resentfulness. Ministry to others is about being patient when things aren't going well, living in hope, enduring even when things are tough. That is miracle love. That is love that is divine. That kind of love only ever exists as the Savior, by His grace, changes our hearts. His present grace works to turn us into people of love, people who are patient, people who are kind, people who are giving, serving, loving, enduring. I would ask you again, won't you reach out for that grace today? Won't you believe that as you step into ministry, God will work this essential quality into your hearts? Confess your need and rest in His grace.